We love her, and we love Kwon Jin because he comes to visit us. That never happened in church before. He comes to visit us, to our homes.
Yeah.
How fortunate we are that a true child comes to visit us. And the way he speaks, he tells it like it is.
Yeah, this is the one thing also that I love him. Is
Yeah.
because he take care of the members.
Yeah.
For myself and for my beautiful family here, we're totally inspired and we're in heaven right now, especially after this sermon. He's saying things that I wanted to say for the last 37 years. It's not so much what he's saying, it's what he's doing.
And it's so revealing. He's aware of all the insights of what's happening and knows how, I think, the solution, if we follow him and True Mother, we can overcome. We can become true leaders. Beautiful.
Great peril, we have movement.
You want to lick the icing?
All right, guys,
Every time I listen to his words, it is like fireworks going off in my head. Think deeply about what Kwon Jin Moon says, and I resonate very strongly with it and absolutely support his approach.
So delighted to have witnessed the new minister here, Kwon Jin Moon, because I'm so new to this organization, and to have a young man so full of energy and so full of spirit who's setting out to only do good things in Las Vegas, it fills my heart, and I'm here to do whatever I can to support, and I'm just so inspired because it gives me inspiration to do my work. And this home, when it's complete, is going to be a place for people to come for racial atonement and for religious atonement. And so this work is right in line with what I see myself doing as my part in bringing about world peace.
I'd like to thank all of you for helping our beloved True Mother. She had a wonderful time in Las Vegas. And, Las Vegas actually legally is her home. So this is her actual place of residence. That's how significant this area is. And so I want you all to realize that although we are a very humble congregation, spiritually speaking, we are the center of the universe. So, yay. And, like many centers, it just takes a matter of time before, others eventually gather. But here in Vegas, we have the great benefit of at least serving our True Mother. So thank you for all of your support. Because our True Mother is here, and because of what I said last week. Anyone was here when I said last week? Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. I would like to talk a little bit today about True Mother's role. And then specifically after that, I'd like to talk about our role. So what do we do next? So this was prophetically given by my father, November 27th, 1991, in Hawaii during a hundoke, and it was translated by Reverend Lee. It's called True Mother's Role. The recreation process is a providence of restoration. Therefore, perfected Adam and Eve have to be restored. This process has to continue up until now. The purpose of all human history has been the course of restoration to recreate Adam and Eve, to recreate a perfected Adam. Through the years, God had to develop a foundation for the individual, the family, tribe, and up through the nation and universal levels. Finally, by Abel subjugating Cain and taking the elder son position, true parent's position can be restored. And next, the kingship position. When Jesus came 2,000 years ago in Israel, his position as restored elder son was on the national level, but he could not successfully accomplish the elder son's position on the worldwide level. At the second coming, the Messiah must accomplish this. True parents completely subjugated Satan on the worldwide level. There is no Satan left who can invade either the communist or democratic realms. After completely restoring the elder son's position, true parents' position and the kingship position can be restored. I'm going to eventually have to get a taller lectern. A lot of tiny people. That's okay. After the perfection of Adam, Eve also had to be perfected. Based on Adam's perfection, Eve can be recreated. And Adam has to restore the Eve's position. This is the restoration course, because at the time of the fall, Adam was subjected by Eve. This condition is restored by indemnity at a time of the second coming of the Messiah. Therefore, when mother in the Eve position is at the same level of perfection as father, then the whole dispensation is completed. Until now, mother has completely followed father. She has been totally united with him. She is father's shadow. Now, after father's victory has perfected Adam, Satan can no longer accuse or invade. Therefore, father has to raise mother to father's level. Mother in the Eve position started this course in Japan. Japan represents the Eve country, and Korea represents the Adam country on the national level. I believe that's correct. Therefore, Japanese and Korean women must be completely united together. Mother in Eve's position in Japan became the #1 woman, and in Korea completed this in 40 days. During Mother's recent visit to Japan, she spoke to several thousand representative women from the Women's Federation for Peace in Asia. Also in Korea, Mother spoke to 15,000 representative women within the 40 days. She gave many speeches in different levels in each province. The final event took place on November 20th. On the foundation of this victory, Mother completely fulfilled her mission. In a period of 20 days, the Korean National Historical Level of Women's Federation for Peace in Asia was initiated. Then a final rally was held in Seoul. Such an historical event was never held in Korea before. The women's position is different in Korea and Japan. In Japan, it is like Leah's. In Korea, it's like Rachel's. These two women have to be completely unified. Historically, Japanese and Korean women have been bitter enemies. Through Mother in this campaign in Korea, they became completely harmoniously united, centering on true Mother. Father asked 6,000 Japanese women representatives to come to Korea by the end of this year to receive education. 6,000 Korean women will also participate, making a total of 12,000 women as a symbol of Jesus' 12 disciples. The number 12 represents all humanity. Those women are completely united with Mother, and because of this condition of unity, Satan can no longer claim women. The Western world represents the archangel. Japanese sisters are married to brothers from all over the world. This is to restore the archangel position. Japanese sisters will be married to men from 160 nations. By April of next year, young men and women representing 160 nations will be married. Those 160 nations from all 6 continents will be representatives in the Women's Federation for Peace and must be completely united with true Mother. By next April, the Olympic Stadium in Seoul, Father will expand the foundation of the Women's Federation for Peace to a worldwide level, to be organized in 6 continents. During a conference and a rally, Father will proclaim the Women's Federation for Peace to the world. All the world's women will belong to Father as the representative of Adam, through Mother. All men are in the archangel position. By restoring all these women to true parents' family, men in the children's position to those women will be restored through them. When Adam and Eve fell, they were taken by Satan's side. At this time, Father, the perfected Adam, completely restores Eve by going the reverse direction. Brothers and sisters, embrace and follow Father, going back to God. All men in archangel position follow Eve. This is the universal turning point. This is Mother's age. Until Father is age 80. After 80, we will be entering the original ideal world. In America, the women are already queens. American families are separated. Children go their own way. They don't know where they're going. If all women unite with true Mother, then all other children will follow their mothers. The fathers and husbands who are in an archangel position will follow true Father. Father and Mother will ask all the blessed women to be mobilized for 3 years to their hometowns as tribal messiahs to restore their relatives. The women, as tribal messiahs, will restore their children, and then all the husbands will have to follow. Satan already knew this, and that is why he has divided families. In the last days, the family has to become one centered on God. The biblical revelation prophesies that in the last days, mothers, fathers, and children will be one another's enemies. How can they be unified into one centered upon God? This is God's will. And this is what Father is doing. So man as husband is in the archangel position for 3 years. The husband and wife need to be separated for 3 years. So when the father calls all blessed wives to come to Korea and Japan, you will immediately be mobilized. This is the age of mother. Within 3 years, Satan has to be completely separated from us. The number 3 is always a problem. When the Israelites left Egypt, they had 3 days to separate from Satan. Jesus had a 3-day separation period after the crucifixion. When Father mobilizes the blessed wives, the husbands should not complain. They should have to take care of their children and support their wives. This is principal viewpoint, not Father's words. Until now, fallen history, the man has always been the one in power, struggles, the one who wages war and engage in evil activities. Women have to resolve all the problems through women's power. Women do not like to wage war. God does not have a war concept. This is the final transition period. The whole spiritual world will support mothers' efforts to successfully make this foundation. All women's problems of the past and present, prostitution, free sex, and so on, have to be completely resolved centering on God, true mother, and women's power. All men and women should think of nothing else but God as their vertical parents, and true parents as their horizontal parents, centering on true love. Adam and Eve's responsibility, which they failed to fulfill, was to unite absolutely with the concept of God as the vertical parents and true parents as the horizontal parents, centering on true love. There is no concept outside of these 3. Through them begins a new culture and a new language. A particular nationality's thinking, such as just Western or just Oriental, should not exist. Any other concepts are Satan's. Is it easy? Satan's blood lineage has been on earth for thousands of years. You have to unite with mother completely. As elder and younger brothers, there should be no fighting between Korean or Japanese, Oriental or Western. They have been enemies, but now in total unity they will be completely embraced by mother. They should love and support each other in God's true love. Mother will embrace both children and bring them to Father. Through the 4-position foundation, we have to return to that ideal. Humanity will return to God, and God will bless them all. You know, in the history of religions, the time that we're living on, it really is the end of days. It is a time of resolution and a time of reckoning. And in the history of organized religions, never has there ever been one male leader who then gives power and acknowledges the woman. Never. In the history of organized religions. So for Father to say this back in 1991 is very profound. And it strikes me as very clear that although Father was the Messiah, he was very clear about his own providential role and that he also understood that he could not be a true parent without true mother. And I think that is why we always honor Father, because Father was always honoring the role that he has been given by our Heavenly Father, and never did he ever try to act beyond that. So, now our Father is passed. And in this speech, Father is very clear about men and women. You know, I gave a little, a workshop? For the young blessed families going to get blessed. That was a very interesting workshop. And I love things like that because I like it when I can do plain speak, where I don't have to worry about offending people. And, you know, that wonderful book, actually the book is terrible, but the title is brilliant. Men are from women, women are from Venus, and then men are from Mars. That perfectly illustrates the different characteristics, the yin and the yang, so to speak, of male and female characteristics. And Father is absolutely the one who was charging towards the mountaintop. He's the one that would plant the flag and say, at all costs, damn the torpedoes, we're going to the top of the mountain. And we needed somebody like that to create a foundation. Mother's role in this new era, in her brief time that she'll be on the earth, is to heal the walking and wounded, is to embrace those of Cain and Abel. And although she may not herself be able to resolve the differences, She will be the one at least initiating the conversation. So all the BS of relationships in the past will be put down. All the cultural barriers will be put down. And a real conversation can begin. And this is something that could not be established when Father was alive on the earth today. But it is something that I see that Mother is doing quite courageously. And she is doing this because she also understands her providential role, as do I. Because I also understand that without true family, and without the elder son position and the elder daughter position, there is no true parents. There is no true mother. That is the only reason why I'm doing this job. Well, I mean, I love you all. But nobody in their right mind who understands responsibility would ever volunteer for this. Always, always be suspicious of anybody who wants this job. So last week, I just put something out there, and I'm not going to continue on that, but I put something out there that I really want to call in this era, if True Mother is to finally bring peace between the archangel and God, and Cain and Abel. In this era, we need to have accountability. We need to have an honest and open conversation. We need to understand each other's differences, respect them for what they are, and yet have the strength and the courage to overcome them and still see each other as brothers. However, True Mother's role is different, and I'll tell you what it is. I know this woman in Los Angeles, and for the sake of conversation, without revealing, because she actually watches, I'm going to call her Mary. Not you, Mary, it's just some other Mary. And she's a remarkable woman to me, and I call her Saint Mary. Because she is like a lot of people that we probably know in Las Vegas. She is a single mom. And she raised one very large and healthy young man. And I've known this woman for now 13 years. And the reason why I call her a saint is because within our movement, within the world we live in, we don't have good women leadership. We have women pretending, women playing roles, but we don't actually have good leadership. And when I see one, I bow to them, because there are very few. And this is why I call Mary a saint. When she was growing up with her one child, they separated when he was very young, when he was 10. When he turned 18, 16, 17, 18, the usual teenage angst and rebellion, like many teenagers do, who have enormous amount of passion and yet have enormous amount of anger and rage, he began to rebel. But Mary herself, being a young single mom, also understood, because if you look at her story, she was the one that left her family when she was 18. She understood, at least on some level, what her son was doing. And I would sit there sometimes and I would be witness to tremendous amount of disrespect, where he would slam doors and slam out the door running, "F this, I'm out of here, I'm gone. I'm 18, I can make my own decisions." And before he left, she would always say to him, "Don't hurt anybody, don't hurt yourself, and don't go to jail." There's only so much you can do when somebody's running out the door. And every time he came back, there would always be that odd silence. But she would do what a mother would usually do in this situation. She would cook him dinner. She would clean his room. She would do his laundry. And being a young man of passion and having both parents feel a passion, of course, there would be something else that set him off. And he's like, "F this, I'm out of here, I'm gone. Nobody understands me, I'm out of here. Don't hurt yourself, don't hurt anybody else, and don't go to jail," was all she said. And he would come back. This continued for the next 7 years. And all she can do was give him a frame give him space, but yet give him rules. Don't hurt yourself, don't hurt anybody else, and don't go to jail. When he turned 25, and he got married himself, and he had children of his own, after a couple of years of not seeing St. Mary, he came home. And when he came home, he said, "You know, Mother, for 7 years, I've shown you disrespect. I demanded love from you, and despite that, I never saw the love that you gave me. You told me to be strong, you told me not to hurt myself, hurt other people, or go to jail. And every time I came home, you provided me with a warm meal, you did my laundry, and you cleaned my room. I'm so very sorry. Will you ever forgive me?" Is all he could say. And she would say, "Of course. You're my son." And that's all she needed to say. Needless to say, he is probably one of the most adult 20s, now 7-year-olds I have ever met. And he's raising a wonderful relationship with his wife in a loving home that is free of anger and anxiety and guilt. And they're raising now 2 beautiful children who will grow up in a home of harmony and peace. This is Mother's role. And this is why I call her a saint. Because she, at least, although couldn't articulate what he was going through, she understood on a very primitive and yet profound level that he also needed to go out into the world and rebel. And the only thing a mother can really do is let them go. You know, there's that old saying, if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's meant to be. And when he came back, he truly came humbled. And it's so interesting that, you know, when someone is genuinely sorry, you look at their bodies, and I could swear he was almost doing a bow. And so we have all of this rich character and rich culture within our church today. So what True Mother is doing is raising a new culture where the young second generation can grow up in a safe and secure, harmonious environment where they can be strong leaders to face the world. Why do I share this story with you? I was that son. Maybe that's why, after Father passed away, I'm the only son standing with our true mother. For whatever the reasons are, my other brothers, who I'm sure who are out into the world, hopefully they won't hurt anybody, they won't hurt themselves, and they won't go to jail. I'm sure when they come back repentant and ask for forgiveness, Mother would say, of course, you are my son. But in the meantime, I'm not surprised that things worked out the way they did. Because in order to bring healing into the home, there has to be somebody who actually walked those steps. And to begin an open conversation, there has to be somebody who has done just that. And so, Mother's role is very critical at this time. And Mother also expressed that she may not be on this earth for very long. I don't know what that means, but I certainly hope that doesn't mean what she thinks it means. You know, God, there's just one stupid. I went to see Mother for Christmas, and I'm always disappointed when I meet a stupid woman. There's a stupid woman who said, "Have fun on your vacation." Stupidity, stubbornness, and ugliness is not a good combination. When I was with Mother in Korea, she said something very private, very prophetic to me. Because whenever you're at any sort of function in the true family, there is no vacation. There's no private moment. Stupid woman. But on Christmas Eve, it was just me, my younger sister Sunjin, and True Mother. And as True Mother often does, is she gets reports. And so she tells me what she has been receiving, and they're all lies. The reason why I know they're all lies is because I look at all of your faces, and I look at a congregation, and the atmosphere that was here before I came, opposed to the atmosphere right now, is night and day. But understanding also the games that people in the archangel position play, I sat and I listened. And it didn't bother me at all. I just said, "Who told you that?" And Mother stopped. And then she did something that I didn't expect. She reached her hand across the table and grabbed my hand. Then she reached across the table and grabbed my younger sister's hand and said, "You are all my only children who are supporting me publicly." And she said, I don't even know if she understood what this meant when she said it. She said, there were only two out of those who were lost in the desert with Moses, the first generation. There were only 2 that made it out to the promised land. You two are those to me. And thank you, Ed. But I think it's so funny that Mother would say that about Sunjin and myself, because out of the entire family, I gotta tell you, we are the last people on earth who ever thought we would be in this job. We are absolutely, without a doubt, the most Western and American of all true family members. And because of that, we bring a new tradition. And that tradition actually happens to be of abundance and success. And if you look at what she has done in Hawaii, I always bow down and I respect her because, as I said, there aren't a lot of good women leaders. There are women who pretend they're leaders. There are women with big faces and big shoulder pads and big voices who go around and greet everyone, and they're the ones that are always schmoozing, and they think that's what leadership is, and they're just acting and they're horrible failures in life. But then I look at someone like my younger sister Sunjin, who, although she does that, she actually does the work. And if, as one day you will get a chance to go to Hawaii and meet the congregation there, there is nothing but brotherhood and love. More importantly, though, Sunjin, being who she is, has also taken over all the businesses in Hawaii. And they've gone from negative millions of dollars, which is church tradition, to positive millions of dollars. And I'd like to say that is going to happen in not only in Las Vegas, it's going to happen in America, whether they like it or not. Because there's one difference that Sunjin and I have that I think sets us apart, because we believe in freedom. And we understand our roles as true children, and we also understand the role of our true mother and what she has to accomplish in her very brief time. And in that time, we care mostly about the membership, you. How do I lead this congregation? I go to your homes. I meet you weekly. I see you. I see you for who you really are, good or bad. That is brotherly love. And no matter what happens, no matter what politicking goes on behind the scenes, no matter what reporting goes on behind the scenes, that will always continue in my tenure. And make no mistake about it, I have outlasted everybody. And they have a very short window of time where they can continue playing their old games, politicking, conniving, backstabbing, whispering, saying bad rumors. I mean, guys, seriously. And to the worldwide audience, in Las Vegas, we have a wonderful atmosphere of possibilities, which I must say is not something that exists anywhere else. And so the difference is that I understand people. I understand relationships. And that is one thing we're going to cultivate, because we are going to bring about a new era of abundance, success, but also love, true love. And it's not like the fake kind of pat you on the back, oh, you're such a good little boy. What would it be like if your mother only gave you cotton candy? It's sweet. It makes you happy. Go eat cotton candy. But I'm dying on the inside. But aren't you happy? Look how pretty. It's so much fun. I'm rotting on the inside. But isn't it so pretty? Everyone be happy. Happy, happy, happy. We're happy people. When you grow up and you become an adult, you know, there's nothing you can do. You could probably go attend Anthony Robbins, and then he'll tell you to change your frame. He'll tell you to make a negative anchor, make it into a positive anchor. Take all the negative feelings and make them positive, associate them with something positive and strong and positive, and everything's great. Yay, I love cotton candy. Why do I have diabetes? I'm going to be positive. I love cotton candy. Why are my teeth falling out? You see how ridiculous it is? Unfortunately, Father had to do what he had to do, and Father's responsibility was so incredibly limited. What he really wanted to do was not just give cotton candy, but also nourish you, something that would feed your bodies and your souls. And all he could do, unfortunately, in his short life was give you a recipe book. And that recipe book, unfortunately, took a lifetime to accumulate. So hopefully, as a mother's role, while her kids are out and about, mother's reading the recipe book, and she's in the kitchen trying to cook something nourishing. So that when the children come home, they can receive not only cotton candy, but real food, real nourishment. And as sons, and as my younger sister, she's a good son too, I tell her, you know, we have to make sure that everybody in the world gets this. And that is true mother's role, and that is true family's role. They are intertwined, and they are not mutually exclusive. They are dependent on each other. So the climate is changing very quickly, because Father, who is in heaven, hallowed be his name, is looking down, and he's seeing what's going on. And changes are happening very quickly. And those who are still playing the games, playing the politicking, the social climbers, are quickly going to find themselves up a tree without a ladder. So in the weeks and months to come, I'm going to focus really because what does a brother do, a good old brother do? First of all, I say, what's wrong with you? Get your stupid ass over here. Get your fat ugly ass and sit down. Listen to what I got to say. Let me show you how the world works. That's what a good older brother does. And now, there's elements of kindness, of course, and there's also elements of firmness. This is all true love. At the end of the day, I want you all to learn this, because unfortunately, when Moses himself was in the desert, the first generation who accompanied him did not make it into the promised land. So that window is closing very quickly. And I don't want to make it out with just my sister and the younger second generation. That's going to happen. It would be a tremendous amount of grief to me personally if I left all of you in the desert. And Mother, maybe she understands her role. She understands that maybe she herself can't make it. but she'll try to help every one of the first generation out. But maybe the window even may close on her. That is the sacrificial role of true mother. That is why it is so important that in this age of good women leadership, in the age of the Eve Nation, Kim Il-sung, the Eve Nation, the Women's Federation of the world and the Japanese membership, they have to support our beloved true mother more than anything, and the true family members who stand with her. Leave the politicking, leave the backstabbing, leave the social climbers in the desert to dry away into dust. Because in the promised land, that cannot exist. Otherwise, none of us will ever receive nourishment. And we'll never be able to enjoy the feast that Father has prepared for all of us. I love you all. Before I go, I'm going to leave you with this, but it is my favorite, and I'm going to leave you in a song because it's so profound. But it's Vegas. I like Elvis, so I'm going to go with it. There must be light burning brighter somewhere. Thank you very much. Got to have birds flying higher in the sky, more blue, if I can dream of a better land where all my brothers walk hand in hand. Tell me why, oh why won't that sun appear? There must be peace and understanding sometimes. Strong words of promise that will blow away the doubt and fear. If I can dream of a warmer sun where hope keeps shining on everyone, tell me why, oh why won't that sun appear? We're lost in the cloud with too much rain. We're trapped in a world that's troubled with pain. But as long as a man has the strength to dream, he can redeem his soul and fly. Deep in my heart, there's a trembling, a question. Still I'm sure that the answer's gonna come somehow up there in the dark. There's a beckoning candle, yeah. While I can sleep, while I can talk, while I can stand, while I can walk, while I can dream. Only in my dream come true. Whoa. Brothers and sisters, have a wonderful new year. Let's kick this off and let's bring the harvest and the abundance here to Las Vegas. Thank you. Have a good week.
Because all that we need left in us is the strength to dream, to redeem our souls, and to fly. Heavenly Father, we offer this prayer, this sermon, and this day into you now, upon the name of our true parents and all of our neighbors.
So there's tremendous hope. Come to Las Vegas, hallelujah.
Amen.
Let's do it. Move your family here. Forget the naysayers. We're doing it in Las Vegas, hallelujah. That's all I have to say.